Hi, my name is Deborah L. Welty, and today I'm going to show you some basic pen and ink stroking. This is a photo of some violas that I thought were really pretty, but by basically my design I followed this photo for the basic layout. I have a sheet of watercolor paper here. You could do this on a canvas as well. It's approximately finished size about 5 by 7, and I will be using an IdennaPen. I like this pen. I've been using it for over 30 years. It is by Sakura, and I believe the best place to find them is Hobby Lobby. You could also order them online from Dick Blick's or probably other sources. It has a fine end and an extra fine end. The ink is permanent and it dries really quickly, and that is one of the reasons that I use this so much. Now, I have already traced my design onto the paper. Here's what the design looks like. And I used homemade graphite paper, which is tracing paper that has been colored with a number 2 pencil and then the excess wiped off. That way if I goof up on a line on my tracing I can erase it, or if I get smudges I can erase it. So to begin with, what you want to do is use the fine end of the IdennaPen, and we are going to do the basic outline, and I like to keep my design handy so I can see where the lines are going to go. And it's important when you're doing this that you don't touch the paper or the canvas until you're ready to start, and be sure that you can see where you're heading before you touch the paper so that you don't rest it there for a long time. And I did put on a glove to keep my hand from getting tired, but also so that my hand moves smoothly across the surface and does not leave any oil behind. I'm going to start with the fence post and make the line for the outline edges of the fence post. These do not have to be straight because we can make knots in the wood if they're not straight. And I did draw an edging around here. I just think it looks kind of nice, and then I don't have to buy a mat when I go to frame this. Now, something else that's important is when considering a flower design, all of the petals and leaves all originate from the stem, and all of the bends and curves will point towards the stem. So when I am going to outline this, I want to keep that in mind, and I'm going to start at the stem, and again I'm going to make sure I can see where my pen is going to go before I start doing my inking. I want to see where I am going, where I start, and where I'm going to stop. I don't want to be drawing like this where I can't see what I'm doing. I'm holding my pen back at an angle. It makes a lighter line that way. I'm also doing it so you can see what I'm doing here. Now these little guys right here, pansies and violas and violets, are all pretty similar, and they have this little area right in here. And it's kind of like where the petals fold back a little bit. Now, when I trace this on, the stem line on, I only did a single line because I can make a double line then when I am inking it. And before I start the stem, I look at where the center of the flower is, and above it I practice with my hand to see that it's going to go in the right place, and it is. It comes out. It would naturally curve like this and hang down. So this stem is going to be correct. I will draw it down to the leaves, and then a very short distance away from that I will draw another one. In the same way with this little bud over here, I'll draw the first line, and then I will draw another little line right next to it. The bud is basically just a couple of calyxes with a little bit of flower showing through. Now the leaves, they're not ruffly, I wouldn't call them that, but they're I don't know what you want to call it. But they do sort of roll up like this, or go up and down and up and down. That's the way, if you look at the leaves here, you can see all these little, I don't know, I guess I'm at a loss for words on this one. Okay, so then I did that one, and I'm going to turn it here a little bit. There's nothing wrong with turning your work so that you can do it more comfortably. I did add in a couple of bends on the side edges here just to make it more interesting when we are inking it. And I want this to be anchored, and I did make a mistake right down here at the bottom when I was drawing the outline, and that'll be okay because I can just make some marks like this to help anchor it and create some ground. And then I think it would be kind of fun to pull up a few scraggly pieces of grass. And if you'll notice, there's grass here. It all seems to be blowing that direction. I'm not going to make my grass, I'll go the same way. Make it kind of interesting, and it can be a little bit messy. And over here I will have a little bit coming up. And this will create a lot of nice visual interest. Okay, for now, I want you to get out your design, trace it onto tracing paper, mark off the edges if you'd like it that way, and apply your design and outline it. And in the next segment, I will show you how to do the detail inking.